Hey guys, I'm Sage Valentine, and let's get down to this review of CBS's Survivor Season 31, Episode number 11. So, I think it says a lot about Jeremy's character because he was the first person to run over to see if Joe was okay after Joe collapsed underneath the weight of that pole and that big huge statue thing. Like, for some reason, I thought that the thing had hit him in the head or something. But I'm glad that Joe was okay after that. But it truly shows how much energy and effort all of these players put into this game. Now, with that said, I'm sure that you guys are probably like, well, how come Joe was the person voted out this week? I'm sure a majority of you guys are like, well, Sage, you know, he was one of the strongest, and I mean, they've been trying to get him out for a long time, and this, like last week, was a great opportunity given that he did not win the immunity challenge. Yeah, that's true, but another reason why Joe was voted out was because of the fact that people want to take Abby Maria to the end. And in doing so, they believe that they can win against her. Whereas if Joe made it to the end, then people would say, well, Joe had a great social game and Joe was strong and he won all those immunity challenges, and then he might win. In my opinion, it seemed like a catch-22. But honestly, I think that right now, at this point in the game, they should have voted out either Kimmy or Abby. And don't get me wrong, because I like Abby, but at this point, Abby is pretty comfortable in this game because she's really not showing up on anybody's radar. I mean, people are talking about her, but when is the last time that you heard her name pop up at Tribal Council? And Kimmy is another threat as well, but Abby's a bigger threat than Kimmy. But with that said, I'm happy that she's still in the game because I want to see how far she's going to go, because she seriously has quite a few players running ragged. And by she, I mean Abby Maria. Now, the girls tried to come up with this all-girl alliance, and it seemed, as it always does on Survivor and Big Brother, like a really cool plan. But there's always that one person that turns on said alliance before it comes into fruition. Unfortunately, this time it was Tasha. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not mad that Tasha turned on those girls because, like she said, if Jeremy and Spencer had found out about that alliance and they found out that she was a part of the alliance and didn't tell them, then there would have been hell to pay. Now, this episode gave me feels because all of the contestants had the chance of seeing their family members for just a brief moment before they started the reward challenge. You had Tasha, whose cousin Christine popped up. You had Spencer, whose girlfriend Marcella popped up. Abby's mom came. Keith's wife, Dana. Kelly's dad, Dale. Joe's dad, who also has awesome hair like Joe. Kimmy's father, but I think the saddest one had to be Jeremy seeing his wife Val and both of them embracing and crying, and it got me right here. I know it's quite a few people on Twitter are just like, I hate this scene, but I think it's so beautiful because of the fact that, like, you think about all the time spent by these contestants in this game and how long they were sequestered before the game even began, and they haven't seen their families, and then to just see them, they just break down. And it was beautiful to find out that Jeremy became a father of a bouncing baby boy, which was pretty awesome. But I have a question for you guys. Did Jeremy tell everybody that his wife was pregnant? Because I can't remember if he did or he didn't. I think he probably told Savage, but I'm not sure if he told everybody else. If you remember that he did, definitely leave me a comment below and let me know, because I'm trying to remember and I don't think that he did. But in the end of the reward challenge, which is basically a barbecue dinner or lunch with your family member, Kelly won it. Kelly W, and she had a chance to pick 4 people in her tribe to go with her. So she chose Keith, Abby, Kimmy, and Joe. I was completely, like, kind of confused as to why she chose Joe, considering the fact that she wanted him gone like that. And I was like, well, why would she choose him? And I understood Keith. I understood Abby. I even understood Kimmy. But the Joe part, I was kind of like, huh? What? And the fact that she didn't choose Tasha, Spencer, and Jeremy proved where her allegiance lied. Right there. So while Kelly and her crew and their family members enjoyed that barbecue, Tasha, Spencer, and Jeremy secured a final 3 deal, which I think is pretty awesome. And I do believe that they can steamroll through this game and in the end kick butt and take names. And I'm okay with whoever wins out of that 3. Just as long as my 2 faves, Spencer and Tasha, are in the mix, I'm good. But we also were reminded of another thing by Tasha during her little diary confession session, where she said, you know what, I have a good position in this game right now. I have a choice of siding with Spencer and Jeremy with this final 3 alliance or siding with the girls. But I cannot say that it surprised me that Tasha decided that her allegiance was with the boys more than the girls. But at the same time, she felt like she needed to get Joe out of the game, and I respect that. I know I've never played Survivor. I've watched all of these years from home, but I think that that was a really good move. I am sad that Joe had to go, but it was a good move, in my opinion. So we made it to the immunity challenge, and this challenge seemed familiar to me. I could have sworn that they performed this or competed in this in a previous season or so. If I'm correct and you guys remember what season, remind me at the bottom, because I'm trying to remember which one it was. And for some reason, I felt like Tasha had done this before. I don't know why. Brain's all foggy at the moment. But anyways, so there was a female winner and a male winner, and the female winner of the immunity necklace was Kelly W, and the male winner was Keith because of what happened to Joe. And as I said, I was proud of Jeremy when Jeremy ran over to see how he was doing, and everybody just about seemed like they were more worried about Joe than who won the challenge. Now, let me say this. Joe made some good points about Abby and her position in the game. But unfortunately, you had Tasha, who was a little bit skeptical about keeping Joe in the game. And then she brought this to the attention of her fellow alliance members, Spencer and Jeremy, who seemed like after talking to Joe, especially Jeremy, that they wanted to get rid of Abby. And then there was this question of where did Tasha's allegiance lie and was she going to go against the group? And they were like, you know what, we need to lock her down now. So when we made it to the tribal council, I was trying to figure out, after all the votes were read, like, who voted for Tasha? Because I was like, I can't. I'm wondering who did this. I'm like, was it Spencer? Was it Jeremy? I'm like, if it was one of those two, I'm going to be so upset. And then when it was revealed that Keith did it, I was just like, Keith. Like, that was the most random vote. Like, he should have just gone with the flow. Apparently, no one told him which way they were voting, so he just picked out this random name out of nowhere, probably to, and I don't think I'm giving him a lot of credit in this, but in other words, trying to say that he is a more of a crafty, masterful player, but if those are the right words to say. But I'm wondering, did he throw out the name Tasha to start some mess with her alliance? I mean, Keith, to me, has been, you know, chilling. And a lot of people have been sleeping on Keith, meaning they haven't been paying much attention to Keith. But I really feel like Keith has been holding back. And since he won this immunity necklace, he is seriously about to kick butt and take names very soon. But in the end, there was 1 vote for Tasha, 2 votes for Abby, and 4 votes for Joe, or actually 5. And Joe was voted out of the tribe and sent straight to jury. Now, as I said, Keith voted for Tasha. It looked like Joe and Spencer voted for Abby. And Abby, Kelly Wentworth, Kelly Wigglesworth, and Jeremy all voted for Joe. So, I mean, God only knows who's going home next week. God only knows who's going to win. But all I know is this. Season 31 Second Chances is a hell of a season, and I am so glad that Survivor decided to do this, and I cannot wait to see what direction they're going to go in Season 32. But until next time, you guys take care. Definitely rate this video, leave me some comments, let me know what you thought of this episode and of the season so far, and hit that subscribe button and subscribe to my brand of crazy. I love you all. Take care. Bye, guys. Bye.